Excellent. We are now live on YouTube and Facebook. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get kicked off and started. Thank you so much for the patience of all of our panelists this morning. I'll get us started with our program for today. Now, most of you already know me, but I am Juliette Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I'm so delighted to continue on with our Small Business Week support that we have been extending over the last 3 weeks to our small business community. Now, if this is your very first time on our page, do not let it be the last. We ask that you hit the like button, make sure that you are signed up for notifications, that you're following the page so you can get alerted when we do go live. Now, at the very same time that we are streaming this here on our Facebook page, we also have it in real time on our YouTube channel, Westminster Chamber of Commerce, for anyone that you know that may not have access to Facebook. Now, along the way, if you have comments or questions, we encourage you to type them into the comment section of this broadcast. Be sure as you start to tune into the broadcast that you react to the video. We like thumbs up. We love the heart reaction. Avoid any of the angry emojis that are there. But truly, if you comment or react to the video, it is the way that we know who is tuned in, who is watching with us, and we love to give you those shout outs along the way. If you're a returning viewer, I thank you for continuing to watch our broadcasts. We've been hosting these over the last year and 2 months now. Ever since the whole COVID situation unveiled, the idea behind it is, of course, to share with you resources, educate you on things that are going on in and around our community, and make you aware of some of the benefits that you may not be accessing. Now, of course, you have the opportunity to share this out in your network, which allows others that are following you, that are engaged, to also benefit from the content and information that we provide. So you can do that huge favor of hitting that share button on this video so others in your network can see it. I've already started seeing at least one comment come through, and this comes to us from our Mayor Pro Tem, Dave DeMott. Thank you, and good morning to you as well, Dave. I'm pulling this up so everyone can see when we do comment, or when you do ask a question, we will pull the comment or question up on the screen. This allows for people to see the direct question and, of course, to see who is bringing that on. Hopefully you have an image that you are proud of or something that you would like others to see. Today's broadcast is especially important because In lieu of Small Business Week, we work with a lot of partners not only here in our city of Westminster, partners in our county at the state level, and this opportunity to be able to serve our business community through a variety of perspectives and lenses. What you'll see is each of our partners offers something that may be similar, but it is serving a different niche or a different industry, and that we work collectively together in this ecosystem to make sure that all small businesses are successful. Here with us today, we do have Angela Atkinson from the Small Business Development Center in our Metro North community. You've met Angela before on one of our broadcasts. Hello, Angela.
Hi, nice to be here, Juliet.
Of course. And we also have Seal Prinster. Seal is with the Colorado Enterprise Fund. Good morning to you, Seal. And I'm so glad we color coordinated today.
Yes, that's lovely. Nice to see you, Juliet, and Paul and Angela. Good to be here with you all.
And of course, lastly, we have Paul Stan. Paul is with the Colorado Lending Source. Thank you, Paul, for hopping on to the broadcast with us.
So happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So all of our panelists are aware we have a number of questions that we want them to really accent or highlight. These are generally questions that we are poised to answer when businesses ask them of us. They're questions that we may have picked up over the last few months as people are asking for specific resources. But the idea is to try and answer those FAQs for you as a small business. If there is a question that we do not get to, or a question that you have in mind, feel free to type that in before we ask it. And I haven't even talked for a long time, but I feel like I've got a frog in my throat this morning. All right, we'll get started. Our first question we'll go to, and we'll have all of our panelists answer these questions. The first question I'll have Paul start the answer, and then we'll move to Angela, and then Seal. This first question is, how does your organization support the small businesses in our state and, of course, community?
Thank you. That is a fantastic question. So at Colorado Lending Source, our mission for the past 30 years or so has been to foster the economic growth of small businesses, of diverse small businesses in our communities. And the way we do that is through direct lending channels, through partnering with lenders throughout Colorado and the Rocky Mountain region, and also offering a lot of education and resources to both lenders and to borrowers and small businesses, entrepreneurs who are looking to either start, purchase, or expand their business.
Thank you, Paul. Angela?
Yeah, so I'm with the Small Business Development Center, and we actually serve businesses nationwide. So the SBDC network is supported by the Small Business Administration, plus local grants and funding. And we support small businesses through free one-on-one consulting and workshops. And we frequently refer out to CLS and the Enterprise Fund for help with capital investment and borrowing. So we actually partner closely with the other panelists here today. And but in terms of the North Metro SBDC, we specifically focus on Adams County and the northern part of Jeffco. So we serve Westminster businesses as well as other businesses within the county parameters.
Thank you, Angela. And Seal?
Yeah, so I'm the president and CEO of Colorado Enterprise Fund. We're a longstanding organization. We've been around for 45 years, actually, helping small businesses with access to capital and business coaching. We provide loans from really 1,000 to up to 1 million direct loans, but our average is more like 50,000. And we work with small businesses of any type when they don't have access to bank loans. They may not qualify. They may have issues with being able to be bankable, if you will. So we help them with access to capital and provide loans for them. And in addition to that, we have a really good program for business support and counseling with our business counselors.
And I love that. I always like leading with that question because It truly shows how interconnected we all are, and how we work together, where one has a strength in another area and delivers that service or opportunity for the businesses overall. This next question, I'll have Angela start us off with answering, and this question is related to the resources that your office or your team does provide. Are there any that go unused, or is everything always maxed out and businesses can't access, or there's a wait list of some sort?
Oh, I wish we we were maxed out, and but we have grown significantly. So one of the mixed blessings, I suppose, of COVID is that we were really highlighted and put on the map by the SBDCs being a resource for assistance with the PPP loans and the EIDL loan. So, you know, pretty much overnight we were spotlighted as an important resource. And so we ramped up the number of our consultants and the number of virtual webinars, doubling our client base plus the number of webinars, and customized programming that we deliver to our partners. So we actually I'm pretty proud of our team. We responded pretty quickly to expand to meet the need. And having said that, there are still available hours every week that all of our consultants have to meet free virtually on Zoom or GoToMeeting. And I should mention that our consultants are digital marketing experts. We've run a number of webinars through the City of Westminster on that. We've got attorneys on staff, CPAs, you know, strategic thinkers, et cetera. So whatever your niche is in startups, of course, we've got consultants that are available to help you with that. So I would say that our capacity is significant for being able to adapt to the demand. And we really pride ourselves in being able to respond pretty nimbly with what people are needing in the moment.
And I think we'll get to that with one of the questions hopefully at some point, but our ability to be so agile comes in part from our teams and how cohesively we work together with the small teams that we have. And we do so much on so little. With that, Seal, I'll have you answer that very same question from the enterprise funds lens. Do you have resources that have gone unused, whether it was during the time of COVID, even now, or pre-COVID?
Well, interesting question. Pre-COVID, we actually, when I think of resources, I generally think of our loan capital. And pre-COVID, we were getting pretty tight because it was a good economy. There were a lot of businesses that were expanding and needed our capital. And then COVID hit, and not only did we get a huge demand for COVID, we created a COVID relief loan program. And even though we had been tight on capital, we had amazing response from our funding partners to create new loan capital pools, both geographic and municipal targeted, as well as sectors. So we were also able to really respond to the demand in a very increased way. And then we did PPP loans in a big way. Actually doing almost 50 million in PPP loans through the 2 rounds in 2020 and 2021. So we've been pretty busy with that, but looking forward to getting back to helping businesses start, grow, expand, acquire, all of that as we move into this new normal of our economy.
And there is that positivity that's in the air. I'm so glad that you shared that, because we're seeing more businesses that are starting to open back up, and some businesses that are even newer that are registering with the Secretary of State's office. So I'm sure that number that you've just been able to provide last year alone is going to grow significantly. Same question for you, Paul. What does that look like in terms of the Colorado lending source and some of the services that you all provide?
Yeah, absolutely. I see a theme already forming here, being that we're so interconnected with each other. You know, Seal mentioned it. PPP was a big part of everyone's portfolio last year and all the way through this year. So our resources were definitely focused on that for the past few months. And so if I was to talk about resources that have gone unused throughout that time, it was our typical SBA 7A loans and our typical SBA 504 loans. So people were trying to get access to those funds, those PPP funds, and maybe not as focused on purchasing their building or purchasing a business. But now we have seen that kind of turn a little bit, where PPP is not so much of a focus, but we're getting quite a few inquiries every week on people wanting to open their own business, startups, which is super awesome to see that people are still out there looking to make an impact in the community and start something great. And then also, we've been working a lot with the SBA on a lot of 504 loans, and I'm sure we'll get into this a little bit more, but a lot of businesses that have kind of weathered the storm are now in a position to purchase commercial property, which is great to see. So yeah, another thing that I would mention is some of the resources that have definitely not gone unused for the past year have been education and just advising people. What can we do? How can we get more? How can we get more relief? There's been a lot that has been packed in the CARES Act, as we all know, and so we've helped some small businesses and some lenders with unpacking that and knowing where to go for help.
I'm muted. Thank you for that, Paul, and shedding the light on some of those more traditional lending sources that weren't as used during the time. No surprise with trying to survive and retain our workforce, but it is very good for those that are out there to know that these are some of those services that were still out there. We have a question that has popped up from one of our viewers. This comes to us from Christina. It does relate to, of course, small business support, specifically around accounting and tax preparation. And since this is a question that's not really dedicated toward one person, although I have a feeling that there's one organization that's probably going to take the lead on this, do all of you want to try and answer this? Is there someone in particular that feels most passionate in answering?
Well, I'm happy to field this, given that we just ran a hugely successful QuickBooks 2 seminars for Westminster. So the SBDC can help with helping with resources and helping you in understanding your finances. We can help you with taking a look at QuickBooks and preparing your books. We don't give advice, so our CPAs don't actually do the tax prep for you, but we can steer you in the right direction, and we can help you organize your finances so that when you go to a CPA, you're ready, you'll have all of your receipts in order, etc., and you'll be well prepared. So, and I know Juliet is going to plug our website, but I'm going to say it anyway, northmetrosbdc.com. You can book an appointment online there, and we have QuickBooks experts and tax folks that are listed on our website.
And so,
when you get to it, I'll say something on this one as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. No, I'll have you go ahead and answer that. Let me pull it back up for you, Seal. And this question again comes to us from Christina.
Just real quick. So part of our business coaching services or business support services does include accounting and not so much tax preparation at all, but if you get a loan from us, we do make a QuickBooks software program available along with the consulting to be able to do a setup for it, because it is really important for every small business to know how to track all their finances. And we refer also to the SBDCs, but we provide that directly to any business who gets a loan from us. And so that's an important part of what we do as well. And we have some experts that we call in on a basis.
Yeah, and if I may jump in, Juliet, similarly to what Seal was saying, I'm sure all of us, Colorado Enterprise Fund, a Colorado lending source, we are obviously experts in specific lending programs, and so we kind of pride of that. But we are also very connected with referral sources and other professionals in the small business world. So, we might not help you with business accounting and tax preparation, but we definitely do know a lot of people that we can refer you to. So an SBDC is definitely one of them.
I love that. And since we had a plug-in of a website, I think it gives us a great opportunity for me to segue. I see several others that have popped on here. Chris, thank you so much for reacting so I can see you and tuning into the broadcast. We have with us 3 of our partners, of course, the Colorado Lending Source, the Colorado Enterprise Fund, and the Metro North Small Business Development Center. And what I'll go ahead and do is actually pull some of our websites for you. If you're interested in finding out more information about each of our individual partners that are on here. The North Metro Small Business Development Center's website is included into the comment section of this broadcast, as is the Colorado Lending Sources website as well, and then of course the Colorado Enterprise Fund. So I know I flashed these quickly for you. They are included inside of the comment section of this broadcast so that you can have something to follow up with, to peruse the information further in detail. This broadcast is designed to be a quick snip of our organizations and what they're doing at a high level. But if you have more specific questions that you wish to have one-on-one discussions on, we encourage you to reach out to those organizations. Of course, as you're watching this, if another question comes to mind, similar to Christina and a couple of other folks that have commented, be sure to type in any of those questions so that we can have our partners address them for you. We love being as engaged as possible and you help in guiding that conversation. Seal, I'll have you go ahead and actually start us off with this question, and that's, what should small businesses know about your organization? I know we touched a little bit about the resources that are unused, but in general about CEF, what should folks know?
Well, I think the main thing is that we really understand small businesses, and especially the small businesses. We've been doing this work for 45 years within our organization. We have a lot of longevity on our staff as well. Our goal is to really be very approachable, accessible, friendly, and really help people to not be afraid to ask for money, and we do also ask that you be open to what we're going to require of you if you do need to get a loan, but that we'll walk with you. And that's our goal, is to really make access to capital accessible. So that's what we want you to know. And speaking of that, in this virtual world that we're in now, and hopefully getting more open with getting back together in person soon, but we are very tech friendly in terms of our application form, and also interacting with our applicants and clients in a very personal way. So again, we want to be accessible and friendly, and really help you achieve your goals of getting capital to run your business.
Thank you for that, Seal. Paul, a similar question, of course, your way. What should folks know about the Colorado Lending Source?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorite questions. Our main mission is obviously to help entrepreneurs and help people that are inspired to start their own business or to grow their own business through funding, education, resources to help those businesses thrive. And the way we do that is we do it in 2 channels, really, or through 2 channels. One is we have our own direct lending channel, in which, similarly to Colorado Enterprise Fund, we can start from very small. If you need $5,000, we can help you with that. And through those channels, typically we help businesses that either have been declined from banks for various reasons, or have had several factors that were taken into consideration by other lenders or banks that were maybe negatively impacted their application. And so what we do through that is we help them by educating them to what they need to do. First of all, we give them the funding, and then what do they need to do to get to that point where they can go to a bank and get funding that is maybe more cost effective for them. The second way we do that, we help small businesses thrive, is through educating our lenders that we partner with. So we partner with small banks and big banks alike through our commercial real estate and 504 program and 7A program. And I think what I love about that channel is that we try to help small businesses indirectly by helping a smaller bank offer a 7A program that otherwise they wouldn't be able to offer. So we're helping a small business, the bank, help small businesses and entrepreneurs, indirectly as well. So, yeah, the main goal is to get to that small business and help them thrive in one way or the other.
And Angela, if you can also answer the similar question from the Metro North SBDC Center.
Yeah, so I mean, I touched on, I think, our services that we offer, but what I feel called to speak to is more our culture as an organization and our values. Because I think that one thing that we feel really passionate about is that we've been in the trenches. Most of us have been serial entrepreneurs, and we really understand the roller coaster ride. When you say yes to starting a business, you're going to have really great highs and lows. There's a roller coaster ride, and so that empathy for the sort of the emotional ups and downs that a small business goes through, we're attuned to that as much as we are the technical needs and skills. So we want to equip people with a mindset of survival and resilience and resourcefulness, and we see our clients as all of those things, and we hold as a goal to mirror that back to them. So that's an ethos that we hold at the SBDC, that all of our consultants have, is just this immense respect for those businesses who have said yes to something that can be really challenging on many, many different levels. So we really take that to heart deeply in our service to our clients.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That actually parlays perfectly into another question I'm going to throw your way here momentarily, but I'm going to sidebar and just give a nice good morning shout out back to Parker. I also see Amber and Bethany and Danielle. Thank you guys for hopping onto our broadcast today. Of course, this is our Small Business Resources panel. We have our partners from the Colorado Enterprise Fund, from the Lending Source, and of course from the North Metro SBDC. So this question that I was going to hold off on asking, but your comment made me move it forward in priority, is going to be something to tell us a little bit about yourself personally. So one of the comments that Angela has just recently made was this culture and this opportunity within the SBDC for all of their trainers and their staff people to exhibit or exude when they're working with new clients or businesses. And I think what strengthens each of us in our leadership roles and in our operations is that we have some direct experience with who we're working with. And to that end, I'd love to hear a little bit about you personally, your involvement in the organization, but some of the experience that you may be bringing to the table that makes it a little bit more personable on your end. Angela, we'll start with you since you've already had begun in answering this a little bit, and then we'll move on with our other panelists.
It's such a great question because it makes you reflect on the themes and the choices that you've made in your life career-wise. And I just care very deeply about people's dreams and helping them bring them to fruition, whatever that looks like. My background is I have a master's, an MBA in nonprofit management and leadership. And so I've been working with nonprofits as a consultant for many years, had my own business. When I was having kids, I opened a toy store. So I had a retail storefront for a few years. So I'm just so curious about that journey of manifestation of whatever your the inner voice is saying, I need to go do this and create this because it's a creative act. I'm just passionate about that. And so I've had my own businesses as referenced, but I also love to teach. And so I actually came to the SBDC through teaching at Front Range in the business department, and love students and seeing, the spark of their ideas. And it just was a natural fit and move for me to come to the SBDC. We are hosted by Front Range Community College, so our offices are actually in the building. So I get to walk by students every day pre-COVID, of course. So yeah, it's just a real honor and a blessing to be able to help people in this way that feels like it's a real fit with my passion and values.
Absolutely. That's so excellent. Thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself personally and your background. Seal, I'll have you do the same with us for a get to know you side.
Yeah, Angela, I just can see your face glowing when you talk about all that. It's really, really special. But I've been with Colorado Enterprise Fund for over 30 years. And prior to that, I was a commercial banker in a fairly large regional bank at the time. And I worked with small businesses then. So I kind of get that link with banking, and appreciate both our banker partners and the environment that they're in, as well as the small businesses that we work with at the bank. But I also come from an entrepreneurial family, and also a family that was very rooted in values and service. And so, and my educational background is more in liberal arts, and then I, kind of sort of accidentally got into banking and business. But what I do is really kind of that combination, because we're a nonprofit, the combination of mission to help people and help people realize their dreams. Like you were saying, Angela, that is really something we probably all share in this work that we all do here, of seeing that energy and that creative drive in the entrepreneurs. But and then just the business side is really very there's just something about the discipline of having to run a business and make it work, and all the numbers I really like, and making sense out of the numbers, but combining that with that mission aspect, and the values and the appreciation of people and their dreams. So I guess that's kind of my story. I've been with the organization, as I said, for a long time, and coming from banking, but it's really been a great road, and a very satisfying life's work.
Oh, absolutely. And it sounds like such a smooth transition from one industry to the next. But the theme that I'm hearing is that we have all been involved in business and in community support since earlier on. And we all have this high from seeing the success of our small businesses. I thought I was the only one that had that syndrome, but I'm so glad I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Paul, back me up on this. Are you also one that's come from the business community in some form or fashion? What does your background look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of my colleagues would probably describe me as highly curious individual. Similarly to Seal, I kind of fell into banking when I moved to Colorado from Romania 10 years ago. So, growing up, I was also in a family that really valued service to others and helping people. So when I started in banking as a teller 10 years ago, I just loved the customer facing aspect and talking to people and learning about their day, their life, their finances, obviously. And that kind of that curiosity kept pushing me forward towards a small business role in the bank. And so I was at a pretty big national bank for a while, and then the intersection with Colorado Lending Source came through me being involved with them on their loan review committee, and seeing the mission driven organization and how they impact small businesses really drew me to this organization, and that's what brought me here. I love the fact that, as a loan officer myself, along with my colleagues, we're not just loan officers processing loans, we're advisors. We are friends to our small business community and our entrepreneurs. And we really enjoy, kind of helping them get through the sometimes painful experience of getting a loan, getting a small business loan. Yeah, that's kind of my story.
Well, Romania's loss was Colorado's gain, so thank you for coming to us over here. I'm going to segue, since I've been peppering everyone with questions. I see Quinta and a couple folks that are hopped on here, just reminding you of this amazing panel that we have with us today, of course, from the Colorado Enterprise Fund, from the Small Business Development Center up here in the North Metro area, and of course from the Colorado Lending Source. We've shared with you their website, so if you have any specific interest in reviewing some of their information or literature literature in further details or wanted to peruse some of the programs that they had referenced, now I want to just quickly pull the email addresses for you. So all of our guests are actually kind enough to have shared their direct emails your way. So if you are interested in connecting with the Colorado Lending Source, Paul's email is included in the comment section of this broadcast, similar, of course, to Angela over at the Small Business Development Center, and of course, Seal with us from the Colorado Enterprise Fund. Their emails are included in the chat section. I know they would welcome any feedback or thoughts or just overall questions that you might have, whether it be about any information that they've shared today, or maybe information that they have not shared that you had some questions about. So this question always is nice to throw out there because you don't know what you don't know. And when I say that, what I mean is even when I started in chamber, I had a misconception over what a chamber of commerce is or does. And so this question comes to us in the form of, what is a common misconception about your organization? So an example of this is, obviously, as a chamber of commerce, a lot of people equate us with government, especially since we're branded with the community that we serve, when in reality, we are a nonprofit organization that partners with our government entities, and of course, even advocates on our behalf of our business communities to those that are elected. So it's an interesting relationship that we maintain with all of our municipal partners, all of our counties, but we are, of course, a separate entity. So that is a misconception that we always like to clarify. And we'll start with you, Seal, and I'll have you share any misconceptions that maybe people may have about the Colorado Enterprise Fund.
Well, I could pretty much copy and paste what you just said to some extent, because many people do think we are affiliated with government, which in a way we are, because some of our funding comes from government programs, but most of it doesn't. And so, but we are a private nonprofit as well. The other thing that people don't really understand is that we have all of our loan funds in-house and can make our own loan decisions based on the funding that we have available. We have some special programs that maybe are targeted in certain ways, but we can be very, very decisive about making the loan decisions that come to us in our applications. But I think the biggest thing is that we're not a government entity. We're a private nonprofit. We can be very nimble and flexible and responsive to the needs of our community, and that's the message that we want to get out.
Thank you so much for that. And of course, Colorado Lending Source, I'm sure you share some of those similarities as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like every answer is just a copy of Seal's answer for me. But a story came to mind as soon as you asked that question. When I started at Colorado Lending Source, I was trying to explain to my friends and my parents, what we do, and they were like, they all had the same conclusion. Oh, you work for the SBA, basically, or you work for the government. And similarly to Seal, yes, we do help lenders and small businesses access capital that come from SBA guaranteed programs, which are more specialized programs that other lenders offer. But at the end of the day, we are a mission-based nonprofit who is looking to, to finance and to find ways to fund small businesses. So we do have our own loan review committees. We do have our own underwriting. We do have our own servicing team that can help you from starting a small little business to growing into a huge corporation that can be banked by a Chase or a Wells Fargo. And so we're more of a, I would consider ourselves more of a grassroots lending company rather than a government arm, if you will.
Thank you for that, Paul. And I'll have Angela answer this. I'm sure being on campus as well creates a different environment for you.
It's confusing, we have, my email address is frontrange.edu, and yet we're not an academic department. We're hosted by Front Range, and that's where our offices are. And obviously super grateful for that relationship and that synergy. However, we're not, an academic entity, and we don't offer, for credit classes. And so when the market gets confused, that's a challenge. And we also get confused with SBA. We're a slow-moving government entity. We can't possibly pivot quickly. All of those sort of connotations. I think we've all proven, we've been able to do that who are on the screen today. And I think the only thing I would add is because our services are free, we fight the perception of value that, well, if it's free, the quality must not be great, or there's going to be a gotcha or a sell or something. This is too good to be true. And so, we really try, and that's just a perception. We're not going to suddenly start charging to change the perception. But, that is something that we really have to combat and prove ourselves over and over again, that we do provide quality. Consulting and navigation, I would say, has also been really clear with Seal and Paul too, is really helping people can be overwhelming, to find the right resources that are available to them. So, yeah.
Juliet, if I could just jump in with one more thing, and Paul would probably share this. We also get the misconception that we're a bank. So not a government, but we're not a bank either, even though we use lending policies and practices that are just common sense with good lending to businesses. We don't operate like a bank because we don't have shareholders. We're here for the community, and so we want to try to have that middle road that we want to help businesses succeed and provide that capital.
Absolutely. And I think that's, that speaks to why we host partnerships like this together, where we can continue to not only information share with one another, but communicate that out effectively to our individual communities and our network, because in one way or another, those businesses that we all want to support and succeed will rely on another one of our partners. And so the more that we clarify and clear up where not only one can support them, but what that looks like and address any concerns that they might have, the better that we are in serving, especially those businesses that, as Angela said, we're going through this manic state, right? Where you've got a high in your business and you've got an ultimate low, and sometimes you're stressed to the max and you don't know where to go. And I just rhymed, and that was amazing.
Yeah. Good job.
On the back. So there is a phone number to each of our partners' offices if you prefer to call them, especially if you want to call them freaking out about something. I know that they're willing to help you with whatever situation that hopefully you're in, whether supporting you directly or guiding you. The SBDC's phone number is included into the comment section, as is, of course, the Colorado Enterprise Funds, and lastly, the Colorado Lending Source. All three of our partners, not only emails, their phone numbers and websites, which we flashed onto the screens, are also included in the comment section. Now, I promised this broadcast would only last a 45-minute increment. So what I would like to do is offer the opportunity for each of our partners to give a 30-second or less on anything I did not ask them that they had a burning desire to share our way. And just to give everyone a chance to think through that, we are going to start with the original lineup, which was Paul to Angela and then to Seal. Again, our partners are with us today for Small Business Week, which generally runs from the 2nd through the 8th of May, 2021. This year, as a chamber, we extended it to the 21st, which essentially meant that we ran a variety of programs in support of dining, shopping local, and creating opportunities for our small businesses to understand resources, and of course in educating them about ways that they can grow. With that, I'll have you, Paul, start us off with any last minute words that you would like to share, things that maybe we did not get to.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I feel so honored to be first. I wanted to just make a quick comment to the audience regarding the last question. I wanted to touch on real quick on what Angela was sharing about the SBDC. As a loan officer, Colorado Lending Source, and a former banker, I can attest to the value that they offer. I know it's free, but it's fantastic value. It's great ROI. So definitely call SBDC. Definitely use their resources. I absolutely love, partnering with the one here, the downtown, the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce and the SBDC here. It's got me where I am today, even as a banker, to have all those resources available. So I just wanted to attest to that and share that the value is there. definitely reach out. I know small businesses right now are overwhelmed. You guys feel like you're left by yourselves, and you're struggling. Reach out to either one of us, any other partners you have in your neck of the woods. No question is off is out of bounds. So we'd be happy to help.
Thank you, Paul. Angela?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Get a testimonial from you for our website.
Will do.
I think what I would like to say to the audience is that we are really averse to cookie cutter approaches in our programming and our consulting. And so we really look at the individual needs, not just in the consulting arena, but also in our programming. So we heard from some folks that they really wanted help with doing promotional videos. So we were able to find somebody come in who's an expert in Premiere and is doing a workshop next week, in a couple of weeks, on how to, on the cheap, do a promotional video for your business. And so we really love input. We really love creative ideas that come in from the market, and we're really open to, kind of doing things on the fly and seeing if they work. And the second thing is we've also been experimenting with mastermind programs and getting peer groups together, businesses of like mind and like industries oftentimes, to move through the journey together, offering support to each other. And so that's been a new feature. And if any folks are interested in that kind of community building aspect, we've been offering that as well. So thanks for the opportunity, Juliet.
Of course, Angela, and thank you for sharing some of that. I always learn myself on these broadcasts, so we'll have to touch base on the masterminds, because I think there might be some synergy on some efforts that we're also doing in that regard. I'm going to interrupt you, Seal, before you even get started. I just want to pull up this quick comment from one of our counselors. Bowles is just sharing a quick thank you for the great information that you all are providing. So appreciate you, counselor, for being on here with us. All right, Seal, the ball is in your court. What do you have? A 30-second ending or statement that you would like for us to know? Anything that we may not have touched on?
Sure. Well, thank you first, Juliet, for hosting this, and you're a great moderator here, and it really was an honor to be with these other panelists who we have worked with and really respect and admire. Just real quickly, you mentioned it's Small Business Week, which is always so exciting to be part of, and to really feel that energy. In 2019, we were named the National Small Business Lender of the Year, and so we're all about small business lending for with SBA and these great partners that also are part of the SBA family. But basically, the message that we want to be, and I think I can speak for all three of us, that we want to be accessible. We're a lender that basically does patient capital. We can be flexible in our lending, and we're going to provide that business coaching and support to help you succeed by connecting you with resources in our organization as well as in the community, like all three of the other panelists, all four of us, really, you too, Juliet, with the chamber. So we all work together. It's a community, great to be part of, and we want the small businesses to feel like we've got your back. You can do it.
So awesome. Thank you so much for that. And congratulations again for being designated as the National Small Business Lender of the Year Award. I know that's probably not just an even playing field. There are a lot of other partners that are out there and people that are providing lending support. So big kudos to you guys for reaching that milestone achievement. Believe it or not, we are over 45 minutes. This flies by like crazy whenever we go live. But I do want to thank not only our panelists, but of course, each and every one of you that are tuned into this broadcast, whether you're watching it in real time or you watch it later on. Know that we are here to answer any questions and support and guide you. If you do end up watching this broadcast later, give me the hashtag replay so I know you tuned in. Of course, if you think of a comment or question and you didn't have a chance to ask us, you can always type it into the comment section, DM the page, or of course, touch base with any of our partners. They are included into the comment section, but know that we will guide that question to the appropriate person so we can get you taken care of. I hope everyone has continued to have an amazing week as things are going to a little bit of a back to normal, that you are conscious and supportive of the small business community and more mindful. So some of those businesses may have things in place for the well-being and safety of their employees and their customers. So just observe if they have something in place, whether it's exaggerated orders or additional guidelines in place. We want to be sure that we're empowering our small businesses during this time. And of course, enjoy the rest of the Wednesday. We'll be back on here with another live broadcast featuring another small business this week. And I hope somebody cracks the riddle on where's the golden ticket. This is our third and final prize for Small Business Week. So visit any of our closed loop business partners and find out if they have one of those golden tickets for you. Thank you again to our panelists. I hope you have a terrific day.